You ever lie in bed at 3 a.m., heart pounding, because you heard a creak in the hallway? You know it's just the house settling. You know there's no one there, but your body doesn't care. Your muscles are tense. Your ears are straining. Your brain is screaming at you to do something. Now imagine that same feeling. But instead of a creaky floorboard, it's a rustle in the tall grass. Instead of a dark hallway, it's a moonless savanna. And instead of a house settling, it's a predator that can see in the dark. That ancient brain of yours didn't evolve to be rational. It evolved to keep you alive. And sometimes it still thinks the shadows are full of things with teeth. So here's the question. Why are humans scared of things that can't actually hurt them? The answer starts with a simple problem. Your ancestors didn't have the luxury of being wrong. If you hear a rustle in the bushes and it's just the wind, you lose nothing. You wasted a few seconds of alertness. Big deal. But if you hear a rustle and you ignore it, and it's a leopard, you don't get a second chance. That asymmetry is the foundation of every irrational fear you have. It's called the smoke detector principle, named by a researcher named Randolph Ness. A smoke detector goes off when you burn toast. Annoying but harmless. But it also goes off when there's a real fire, and that one time makes up for 100 false alarms. Your brain works the same way. It's not designed to be accurate. It's designed to be paranoid. Because in the ancestral environment, the cost of a false alarm was low, and the cost of a missed alarm was death. So your brain evolved to err on the side of fear. It sees a stick and assumes it's a snake. It hears a noise and assumes it's a threat. And that instinct is still running the show. Even when you're standing in a perfectly safe apartment, staring at a closet door you know is empty. So what did ancient humans actually do with this hyperactive fear system? They didn't try to suppress it. They worked with it. They built their entire world around the assumption that danger was always nearby. Let's start with the most obvious one, shelter. You think a cave is a cozy home. To an ancient human, a cave was a trap. One entrance. No escape routes. Archaeological evidence from sites like Terra Amata in France shows that early humans preferred open gatherer societies. Have a simple rule about the dark. You don't go out alone. Not because they believe in spirits, but because hyenas and leopards hunt at night. Researchers have observed that the Hadza sleep in tight clusters, adults on the outside, children in the center. The fire is kept burning all night, not for warmth, for visibility. The fire creates a bubble of safety in the darkness. Your modern fear of the dark isn't a phobia, it's a memory, a 300,000-old memory of a time when the dark actually could kill you. Third beat, heights. This one seems obvious. Falling hurts. But here's the strange part. Humans are afraid of heights even when there's no real risk. A glass floor, a balcony with a railing, a tall ladder that's perfectly stable. Your rational brain knows you're safe. Your ancient brain sees the drop and screams danger. This is called visual cliff avoidance. And it's not learned, it's innate. In a famous experiment from the 1960s, researchers placed infants on a table with a clear glass surface. One side looked shallow. The other side looked like a drop-installed safety program. It kept your ancestors from walking off cliffs in the fog or stepping into ravines while chasing game. And it's still running today, even when you're standing on a perfectly safe observation deck with a railing and a sign that says safe. Fourth beat, spiders and snakes. This is the classic irrational fear. Most spiders are harmless. Most snakes won't bother you, but your brain doesn't care about most. Your brain cares about the ones that aren't. Researchers have found that humans have a specific visual processing bias for snakes and spiders. You detect them faster than you detect flowers or birds, even in cluttered images. This is called snake detection theory, proposed by researchers like Lynn Isbell. The idea is that snakes were one of the first predators that primates evolved to avoid. For 60 million years, snakes have been eating our ancestors, and our visual system adapted to spot them instantly. So when you scream at a tiny house spider, that's not a phobia. That's a 60-year gatherer bands. You were almost never alone. Your survival depended on being seen. If you were injured, someone needed to know. If you were sick, someone needed to help. But being watched also meant being judged. Your reputation was everything. If you were lazy, selfish, or dishonest, everyone knew. And in a group of 30 people, there was nowhere to hide. So your brain evolved a hypersensitive being watched detector. It's always scanning for eyes, always checking if someone is looking at you. Researchers have found that humans can detect when they're being watched, even from peripheral vision. It's not psychic, it's pattern recognition. Your brain is so good at spotting faces and eyes that it sometimes sees them where they aren't. That's why you feel watched in an empty room. Your brain is doing its job. It's checking for threats, even when there are none. So here's the reframe. All of these fears, the dark, the heights, the spiders, the strangers, the feeling of being watched, they're not bugs in your brain, they're features. They're the legacy of a world that was genuinely dangerous. Your ancestors survived because they were afraid. The paranoid ones lived long enough to have children. The relaxed ones got eaten. You are the descendant of the paranoid ones. You are the child of a million false alarms, and that inheritance is still running in your veins. Every time you jump at a shadow, every time your heart races at a creak, every time you feel a chill for no reason, that's not weakness. That's your ancestors whispering to you, telling you to stay alert, to stay alive. Remember that creak in the hallway? The one that had you frozen under the blanket. Heart pounding, ears straining. You knew it was nothing, but your body didn't. Your body was doing exactly what it was designed to do. It was keeping you safe from a leopard that hasn't existed for 10,000 years. In a world that no longer exists, in a body that still remembers. So next time you're scared of nothing, don't fight it, thank it. It's the reason you're still here.